I must have manifested it in my last video, but I finally got Tron Legacy in. Is it worth the wait? Is this long-awaited 4K release a worthy upgrade for fans of this film? Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Tom Chattelbash here, and if you love 4K movies and just physical media in general, then rest assured you are in the right place, and without further ado, let's finally talk about the new 4K disc of Tron Legacy from Disney. Now, finally, I've got the steelbook in my possession here, and I immediately watched it tonight because I really wanted to see how this looked in the 4K format. I've been hearing good things, especially about the audio, but I really enjoy how this steelbook looks. It's nice and shiny. It's got a great design to it. It feels good in the hand. Also, you know, in this one, you've got a 4K disc, you've got your Blu-ray disc, and of course, you've got your digital copy. So that's all fun and good. But in terms of just the look of these steelbooks that Disney's been putting out for Tron and Tron Legacy, I really like how both of them look, and I'm really happy to put them on the shelf because they look fantastic. Now let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about the transfer here, because now we got our big upgrades of Dolby Vision, and we also have a new Dolby Atmos track here. Now this film, I wasn't sure how it was going to look in the 4K format. I knew that HDR would probably work wonders for it. I mean, I had seen like a fan edit a while back of, you know, it was like an HDR grade of the film and how it might look if it was given a 4K release and given an HDR color grading, and it looked amazing. So I could only imagine how it would look on a proper 4K disc. But in terms of, you know, clarity and an uptick in detail, I wasn't sure because this film was shot digitally, you know, has a 2K digital intermediate, so it was an upscale, essentially, where, you know, I wasn't sure how much more detail we were really going to get out of the image since the source that it's coming from is kind of limited in terms of that quality. But still, I went in with an open mind, and I was really more so excited about the Dolby Atmos track because the 7.1 track, I think the Blu-ray had a 7.1 track, was amazing on that disc, and I could only imagine how the Atmos would sound, especially if it was done and calibrated right. Now, like I preface most of my 4K reviews with, I'm just an amateur 4K collector. I love movies, obviously. I love collecting 4K movies, but in terms of getting into the nitty-gritty details of these discs, what went into bringing them to life and bringing them onto this format, there are far better channels out there that get into those details, go into the special features of all that stuff. But for me, I'm the guy who's just going to tell you, is it worth upgrading for from a video and audio perspective? Is it worth that pickup? Is it worth getting it in this new format? So let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to say this. I like this transfer, but I don't love it. But there are a lot of great things that it brings to the table. So let's talk about that first. First, like I mentioned earlier, this has a Dolby Vision upgrade here. It has a Dolby Vision HDR color grading, and for the most part, it looks incredible. It looks exactly how I felt like it was going to look given this kind of color pass, and it just, especially the scenes in the grid, just pop. They pop so much, especially those, you know, those blues and those oranges. It all looks incredible, especially those IMAX sequences really put my OLED to work in terms of brightness and just color vibrancy, and it looked beautiful. Honestly, Dolby Vision is a huge upgrade for fans of this movie. You're definitely not going to be disappointed, especially once you get into the world of the grid and you see all those games and you get to see all these action sequences. And in terms of this upscale, I will say it is a bit of a mixed bag. There are some shots that genuinely look incredible, where there's a great amount of detail. There's some great close-ups that look amazing, especially of Jeff Bridges, where I actually like had my jaw drop a few times, or, you know, some sequences that looks especially good, especially in the IMAX format, which looked really nice. And the action sequences really kind of give you that new level of immersion because there's just more detail and the image feels a little bit more three-dimensional because there's boosted contrast now. I mean, overall, this is definitely an upgraded image. It definitely looks better than the Blu-ray. But my main issue with the visuals here, especially just in terms of the clarity and detail, is that it looks way too sharpened. And this is clear from the outset of the film, especially the first quarter of the film before Sam enters the grid and we're in the real world. It looks rough. And I mean rough. It just looks like someone just cranked the sharpness slider all the way to the top and just kind of left it. And it just looks really ugly because there's so much noise on the screen as a result, and there's such a minimal uptick in detail as a result of that sharpening that it just doesn't feel like it was worth it. It's not until you finally get into the world of the grid where it's not as egregious, but it's still there, where there's a lot of shots that are overly sharpened. And I think it's more of a detriment to the film, and I know they're trying to get the most they can out of this source and try to give you as much detail as possible, but honestly, it didn't feel like it was worth it here. It just felt like I would have rather them try to fine-tune it another way in order to get us some more detail. Because here, most of the time, there are a lot of shots that just don't look very good, and there's just so much noise, and you could tell it's just been sharpened, and it kind of just took me out of it a lot. I mean, this is such an entertaining and bombastic experience that's so immersive, and it's not really until you get to the slower scenes or scenes that are more dimly lit where you're going to see that over-sharpening, where it's going to be a little bit more obvious, but I think most people probably aren't going to notice it all that much and are still going to enjoy the way the movie looks, and like I said, from a color perspective, you're going to be wowed here. Now, in terms of the audio, this is a flawless, this is flawless Atmos right here. I mean, this movie put my system to work. I mean, the old Blu-ray did, but this one, even from a pure bass perspective, just rocked my room. I mean, I don't even remember if there was a scene where my subwoofer wasn't being worked, and I mean worked hard, and it felt incredible, especially when you get into the world of the grid. I just felt so enveloped in this world, and it just kudos to the audio team here for really fine-tuning this audio track and making this Atmos sound great. I mean, I love the score by Daft Punk, and it sounds even better and sounds even punchier here as well, but just in terms of all of the action sequences, they sound even better here. It sounds like a lot of the sounds and objects moving across the screen, they sound more precise in the sound stage, where it just feels like it's just more calibrated in a way that just feels really meticulously done, and I appreciated that. But for people out there, and I've seen a few reviews now who have said that they felt like the bass was kind of neutered here, what are you talking about? I don't know if they want their house to crack in half, but I don't know. Bass was pretty freaking great to me. But overall, though, I felt like this release was a little bit of a mixed bag for me. I felt like from a visual perspective, it gave me a lot of things I wanted, but it also gave me some things I really didn't want. But I understand that this is coming from a 2K intermediate. This was shot on digital, so you're not going to get the best 4K transfer. It certainly doesn't look anywhere near as good as their, 4K remaster of the original Tron, which looked insane. But still, as a fan of this movie, I don't regret this purchase at all, especially because the audio track is so good, and I still think this is the best the movie has ever looked. And it really is great to show off on like a really good TV, like an OLED. I'm not an OLED salesman, but the past few movies that I've watched on here, the past few 4Ks have looked really good on this TV. So if you got an OLED, these are some good discs to throw on. But that's my take on the new transfer for Tron Legacy. Have you checked it out? I know it's hard to get one of these discs right now, but I know it's out on digital and Disney Plus. But if you've gotten a chance to check it out on discs, that's where it's going to look and sound the best. Let me know down below what you thought of it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? Let me know down below. And if you haven't picked it up or haven't thought about it, are you more inclined to do so now? Let me know. And make sure to check out my main channel, Chattel Bash Reviews, where I review a lot of the latest films and TV shows. Link to that in the description in addition to my socials. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tom Chattel Bash, YouTube's most reliable movie critic.